It's about making connections through conversation. Arrow.net, ARROE.net. All right, let's do it. Let's play it forward. These are real people, real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 453 is with Soman Chainani.
Good. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, my God. 2017, the very first question that I brought up when I was speaking with you about this book was, what are you going to do when it turns into a movie? And here we are, dude. Here we are.
It just took 5 years, 5 more years. I definitely have some more gray hair as a result.
Oh, my God. I mean, the journey that you have been on, I have really enjoyed watching you grow with all of these stories and the way that you are connecting with readers.
Thank you so much. It's been, each book is different. It's like raising a different kid each time. So I never really think of them in aggregate. But I just feel like every book has been its own adventure and story. And now it feels like we're slowly getting towards the end of this universe, and the time to move on to something totally different. Is
that the student in you that wanted to become the movie director? Because the way that you write and the way that you lay things out, it's almost like you see a movie and you're coming back to us going, you're not going to believe what I just saw in my head, but I'm going to play it for you.
Kind of, but it's almost in real time. Like when I'm writing, it always feels like it's happening as I'm writing it. Like it's not like I see it and then try to capture it. It's like as it's coming out of me, I'm watching it. So it's almost like the brain and the keys on the keyboard are connected, and it's all kind of flowing at the same time. So, as I'm discovering the story, the reader's discovering the story, because I never really know what's going to happen in advance. I have a general idea, but not the full idea.
I call that stream thinking, and writers, we get to exercise that every day. A lot of people, I wish they would do it, where they could just trust what's in the moment of now and just let it go and have fun with the adventure.
I think that's, it's early on. I feel like when you're a nervous writer, which I was in the beginning, you're too afraid to ever do something like that. But as time goes on, you start to build the confidence and you build the understanding that it is an act of faith. It's dreaming onto paper, and you can't control your dreams. So, writing is the same way. You just sit down and you try to dream onto paper and get out of the way. And the more ego is the enemy of writing, because if you start to think that it's you you think it's you who's doing it, then you're destined to fail,
I was reading the other day about, how long does it take for a thought to reach a page? And in that research, it says that your body has received that message 10 seconds before you even know that you're thinking. And it's like, that's where I want to be, inside that 10 seconds.
Oh, 100%. I think that is as true as imaginable. And I think, to me, so much about writing is understanding the brain, understanding consciousness, And I think, especially now, there's such a deeper understanding of consciousness and the way the brain works. I remember, at one point, I never did drugs ever growing up. Like, I never ever tried anything, or I never drank. I was never interested in that stuff. But now there's a whole kind of world of, psychedelics that you can try under doctor's cares and things like that. And the idea of getting to the bottom of how your brain works and expanding your mind consciousness, all that kind of stuff is stuff that I'm interested in, because it allows you to kind of explore the roots and the possibilities of creativity, And I think understanding how your mind works, I think, is going to be the key to sort of unlocking the next stage of creative potential in all of us.
I'm so glad that you're talking like this, because as well as I do that there are people listening to us right now that are hider writers. They're hiding the material that they're writing because they don't trust that writing to be, what somebody else might enjoy. I mean, I can't imagine what your world would be like if you would have kept the evers and the nevers away from us. I'd be knocking on your door going, dude, I think you got something here.
I mean, I think it comes down to, do you have a story to tell, and do you have the faith in it to make it as good as it can be? Because not everyone is meant to be a writer, but sometimes a story is meant to be told, and whether it finds success or not, that's not in your control. But sometimes just the act of writing it is itself healing and worth it,
So when you've got two brothers, one good, one evil, were you sitting at a Starbucks one day realizing, whoa, every family that has two or more boys, they've got some action going on here. I need to write a story about this.
No, I mean, I think what I thought about was the idea that, I love the idea that the school was ruled by two boys with inverted souls, one good and one evil. And they skewed opposite directions, and obviously each would like the other one gone so that they can control the school by themselves. But they also need each other because they only can be immortal and have infinite powers as long as they love each other and don't try to kill the other.
Right.
The moment one kills the other one, the surviving brother loses his powers. So, and probably would die because they've been alive for a couple hundred years. So, I just thought that was a cool tension and through line, because at some point one of the brothers is going to try to get around that.
So then how do you work in your magic, basically? And I hate to use that. That's kind of a weird way of saying it. But the way that you can, take a character and make them darker, and yet you have the opposite side. I mean, you're playing with two different personalities here.
I think I have both, and I think everybody has both. I think we just grow up being told, that we're the good guy, and we're not always the good guy, and I think as long as we're told we're the good guy, it leads to us justifying evil actions by saying, well, I'm a good person, when that has no basis in reality. I was just, thinking about the fact that all of us do at least 4 or 5 evil things a day.
Yeah.
Like small things. Like yesterday, I barked at a girl to get out of my way during rush hour. Going down the steps because she was so slow, and she literally was holding up like the entire all of New York City. And so, it just comes out of you and you're like, oh God, that was unnecessary. But it's a moment, right? And then it's gone, and then you're on to the next thing. But, the problem is that sometimes we can tell ourselves, oh no, I'm a good person, therefore that doesn't matter. And then that can justify even bigger things, So I think we have to get rid of this idea of good person, bad person.
You're so right about that, because the other day somebody asked me, so how's your day going? Well, I having a better day sitting at home talking with people about creativity than I am now. And I thought, why'd you say that? That seems to be negative. Even though it was true, I just felt like that people received it as a negative.
I think, the thing is that you can always interpret these things as a negative, but ultimately there is simply what is and what isn't. Mm-hmm. It's how it is to you. So I think to me, the important thing is to just tell the story as it is and not get involved in trying to moralize or judge, You're just telling the facts of the story.
So then when this book this book becomes the movie on Netflix, and you've got Charlize as well as Carrie, do you get to meet with the actors and say, okay, I want you to tap into my imagination? Because I mean these guys are going to play a role that you've put into play, and our hearts, the readers have already got these characters already built in how they're supposed to act.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is, I've met both are incredible people and actresses, because I spent quite a bit of time on set, and the truth is they've read the books, they know the story, they know what the character is. So there was never a question of what they were playing and what they were doing. They knew the bones of the series, So I think for them, they go into it with no fear because they know they've done their homework, Yeah.
So what is the release date on Netflix, and what's the next movie, or can you talk about that yet?
It comes out in September, mm-hmm. And depending on how well it does, there'll be more after that. And then Beast and Beauty, the book that I released last year, is going to get a TV adaptation that I'm working on. Nice. Hopefully sometime next year. And then I'm working on a sequel to Rise. So it'll be a duology of prequels. That'll come out next year, and yeah, that's it. That's sort of what I'm on to for now, and then we'll see what's next.
I like to nonchalantly say, "Yep, that's it." To the rest of the world, they're going, "Oh my God!" and you're going, "Yeah, that's it."
When you have so much work going on, you just sort of focus one day at a time, one step in front of the other. Try to carve the space for your soul to create, and the rest is all ephemeral. But the books last forever, so yeah. you better get those right.
Your writing space, is it controlled chaos, or are you prim and proper and everything has to be in order?
No, I just sit on a couch.
That's me. That's
like it's just
yeah.
It's with a little lap desk. Yeah. There's no like. I can do it anywhere. I can write in a hotel room. I can write in bed. I can write anywhere. Just I write really well on an airplane. Yeah.
Oh my
God! I'm
God!
not fussy about that.
I can so relate with you. So relate with you. You got to come back to this show.
Doesn't affect me at all.
You got to come back to the show anytime in the future. You know that door is always open. We've been talking for 5 years, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it feels like I've grown up on your show.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you.